Judy, you started to share about like some of the changes, you know, that everybody's had to adapt to. And I'll bring in like on a personal note. So again, so my eldest granddaughter gave birth to her first child, a son, during this pandemic. And of course, everybody, you know, we had plans, A, B, C, that everything, and my daughter going to be, and her husband, new grandparents, they were all excited they were going to be at the hospital. But she had a virtual birth for them to be able to see with 25 hours and then ultimately a C-section. And although the baby's birth, in my mind, any baby is a miracle. You know,
Yes.
our family, we call ourselves the baby whisperers because we all love little ones, you know. But it prompted health concerns for her and her child. And as a new mom, and especially like being her grandmother, she's had asthma all her life. So I was most worried about she's going to be in this hospital environment and people have been in there, you know, like with COVID and now the baby.
Yes.
And so have you heard similar concerns and how have they addressed them, like with the new moms and the deliveries, you know, with the babies?
Yes, we have. We've talked to a lot of mothers who we're giving the cribs to, and, you know, they plan for those birth for at least 7 months when they know they're actually pregnant and this is going to happen, and they envision themselves in the hospital giving birth to a baby and in the natural way. I know my daughter and daughter-in-law both had to have C-sections, so that's scary to begin with.
Oh yeah.
And they picture their family around them and supporting them, and all of a sudden all of their plans have changed. And so it's really it's almost like a grieving process they go through, because everything they expected wasn't there. And they eventually get home, and then you have the same situation at home. The people shouldn't be visiting you in your house. A lot of the babies that were being born in March and April, we weren't even talking about masks at that time. It was strictly stay locked down, stay in your house. Those mothers had a really rough time. On the upside of them, there's always upsides to everything. We've talked to a lot of nurses who said that it was so much easier for them in the hospital to work with the new mothers because they weren't juggling visiting time and 6 people in the room. And so they had more time to have one-on-one experience with the mothers and be able to talk to them about important things like, where's the baby going to sleep when it gets home? Do you have a crib? At all of the birthing hospitals in Western Pennsylvania, we supply cribs to the hospitals along with a nice crib sheet with the safe sleep message on. So we saw an uptick in the number of cribs that we were giving out at the hospitals because the nurses had more time to talk to that mother who didn't seem like she may be in need. But upon conversation, the nurses found out what she was in need of. And one of the things was usually a crib. So
well, my granddaughter said something similar, that although she missed her parents and he missed his parents being both said it gave them bonding time, because because of the C-section, she had more time in the hospital, and it gave them bonding time, kind of similar to what I hear from my daughter, that although she worked virtually for a long time, she has the 4 kids and the new grandchild. It gave her time that they didn't have, you know, that kind of quarantine almost, which, you know, they were all like in a hub. I call them the quarantine hubs, you know, everybody's little hub, and they got a lot of time to share like family moments that otherwise would have been busy. So I don't want to sound like everything is negative with it. I have seen some very positive things as it relates to for my family, that the kids have spent more time, quality time with, you know, with their parents. And the 2 youngest have become aunts and uncle at 11 and 12 years old, and the 18-year-old, and they're all enjoying like this new this new little baby that they get to like watch and that. So I do believe, like you're saying, there's special moments that came that otherwise would have been missed too. So,
Sure.
and that's important. We have to look at both the positive and negative aspects. And always, what I've always liked about you and your organization, kind of like a responder mentality. We see a problem, we resolve the problem, don't react negatively. We look at it from every pinpoint. And that's why I've always respected the work you do too, Judy. Like,
thank you.
You have a wonderful, adaptable mind as to when problems present itself. And I think that's helped with the growth and the reputation of your organization. You're welcome. So let's go back to, so what types of additional safety issues for moms and infants and children, like as it relates, again, we started to delve into it about COVID, like what other have you seen and how have you addressed them?
Okay, so the at-home program was set up within a couple of days so that our partners could send their mothers to our website, to the at-home page, where they would do their education, take a test. Once they passed the test, then the health department would send them their information, and we would send the crib and the crib sheet directly to the mother's house.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So yeah, and it has worked out beautifully. We have our partners who normally probably would have had to suspend their Cribs for Kids program.
Operation, yeah.
Putting all those babies at risk, being able to do this in such an easy way. And I think these are things that may last after COVID, after we're not locked down and we're not working remotely from home. I think we'll have partners who will continue to do the education and send the crib directly to the mother's house.
Well, it sounds like it's almost like made the process even a little bit like smoother for you too, that it's virtual.
Yes.
Like
yes.
From point A to point, to point B, because of everything that relates, that it's, these kids, like you said, I shouldn't call them kids, these marvelous young people with this technology, as I mentioned, the one sitting across from me, like they're just, I call them the genius, the genius of tech, because it really is. And every company, every organization had to kind of get into that mode to change. And I think adaptability was key. And going back again, that you have to stay abreast of everything to make sure, that you bring it into the 21st century. And it sounds like you've achieved that and able to help all your clients and the organizations that partner with you.
Sure.
So I say kudos to that. I mean, that you've made it safe too. I mean, for everything's coming without somebody having to pick it up, without having to do this.
Exactly.
And most of the young people shop that way. I think my daughter and my granddaughters, they probably 90% of their shopping's online. So
for sure, yeah. So they're used to that.
That's great. All right.
They're used to the UPS truck pulling up front and having what they need. So that's great.